Good morning, welcome back to In the Garden. And you know, Paul, we're now inching towards spring. It starts in just a couple of weeks, and I'm ready for some color in the yard. You're saying there are plenty of things that we can put out there right now that's going to give us that first shot of color.
Yes, a number of plants that are real harbingers of spring. We talked a couple of weeks ago about forsythia.
Yeah.
And look at that. I mean,
Beautiful.
It's just screaming at you. But here's another yellow flowered shrub that is lesser known. This is winter jasmine. So it's got green stems that make it interesting in winter. But then February into March, you start getting this profusion of these yellow flowers. So it's deciduous, just like forsythia, but it's very hardy, grows in full sun, will tolerate all kinds of different soil conditions. It's not very picky about the soil type. And ultimately, you know, maybe 5 by 5. The tag actually says it gets bigger than that. I think it's actually a little smaller than that. But it's a great choice, not as well known, but a perfect accent.
All right, great ideas to start.
There's more.
More. All right, here we go. All right, Paul, I noticed this is called Quince, and this is obviously something that's lesser known than some of the other plants we'd put in the yard.
Yeah, now the original quince, the species, is a thorny bush that sets fruit. These are thornless and fruitless,
Okay.
and they're just now starting to pop. But they have this load of blooms in red, pink, and a slight orange.
Now notice it says it blooms on old wood. Tell us a little bit about what that means.
Well, so the flower buds were formed on last year's wood. So the mistake people make is they'll see it, you know, in winter when it's bare, because these are deciduous, and they'll you know, prune it drastically. Well, when you do that, you're pruning away all those flower buds. So wait until, it's generally the case with all these things that bloom in early spring. You want to wait until after they bloom to prune them.
After they bloom. Got it.
Ready for another one?
Let's go to the next one.
All right, Taft, here's one that you claim you've never heard of, right?
Never heard of it. You always say pop of color in the yard's what we want. This thing is popping for us.
This is Laura Pendulum.
Okay.
I dated a girl named Laura Pendulum in high school, as a matter of fact, but that's another story.
Different story, okay.
Laura Pendulum has become hugely popular in the last decade, but these gorgeous flowers that just hang on these branches are just so cool to look at. And Laura Pendulum comes in a lot of different sizes. Dwarfs, semi-dwarfs, and big ones like 10 foot. So you got a wide range of choices. In a really hard winter, they will sometimes die back a little bit, the top growth will, but the root ball is hardy and you'll get new growth that'll appear.
So after these fall off, then what we're seeing here with these beautiful leaves, this is that color we're going to get. It's going to give us a little bit mix of a darker color in the garden.
It looks great against bright greens. You know, it's a great contrasting color. To me, they have a similar look to crepe myrtles.
They do,
actually.
yeah.
So yeah, Laura Pendulum.
Beautiful. All right, Paul, I noticed this one, by looking at the label, says Dawn EGolf Redbud.
Yes, and for the record, I did not date Dawn EGolf in high school.
You did not date Dawn, okay, got that.
So Redbud, state tree of Oklahoma, they do really well here. The reason I wanted to highlight this one is Dawn EGolf is actually a well-known hybridizer of redbuds. So he developed a lot of new varieties. This one's named after him. And what's cool about it is it's a shrub form. So you can train it with a central leader to be more of a tree form. But as you can see here, this has got multiple lateral branches here. So this is about an 8 by 8 shrub,
Okay.
which is an altogether different look for redbuds.
Yeah, beautiful indeed.
So Taff, we started with winter jasmine. We're going to end with Carolina jessamine.
Oh, very close, yes.
A little confusing. This also produces a similar looking yellow flower, but this is a vine. Okay, so for trellises, arbors, fence lines, it's a rapid grower, 15 to 20 feet. So it'll cover an area pretty quickly. And it's hardy, it's a wonderful vine to have. And I know how much you despise the Virginia creeper that you've got growing on your
why'd
fence.
you have to bring that up?
Well, because I also dated Virginia creeper in high school. But
Really?
This would be a great alternative if you wanted to rip out all that Virginia creeper and plant this. Now, the more sun, the better. It'll still flower in partial shade, but the more sun you give it, the better.
So you dated Virginia creeper and Laura Pendulum.
Oh yeah, and sandy loam, and I mean, there's quite a few others I could talk about.
Maybe that's just a segment we're going to have to do.
Perhaps.
All right. For another day, I guess.
Yes.